work a retail job now. It's not paying enough, and I'm in a debate on whether or not I should be a stripper again.
Ah, okay.
But I'm also in recovery. I'm a cocaine addict. My only issue is that I'm worried if someone offers me cocaine, I will do it, and I will ruin my life again.
Call from
Violet July.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Is this the Gecko?
Yeah, who is this?
No way. I'm Violet July.
Violet July. Ooh, that's, do you know who the Insane Clown Posse are?
I know of them, yes.
The head guy, his name is Violent J, which is not his name is Violent J, and yours is Violet July.
Yeah, I didn't even put those two and two together, but that's cool.
What's up, Violet July? Do you go by Violet July, or do you ever go by Violet?
I go by Violet. It's a recent thing. I started going by my musician name, but I'm not really here to talk about my music, I guess. I don't.
So you picked the name Violet.
I did. I picked it myself.
Was it inspired at all by the daughter from The Incredibles?
No, it was more like Violet Baudelaire from a series of unfortunate events.
Oh. There's Violet Baudelaire, is that her name?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Violet Beauregard, who is the name of the girl who I think that's the girl who turns into a giant blueberry in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
Oh, that was Violet. Yeah, Violet Beauregard.
Wow, those two things, they sound similar.
Yeah.
Well, enough about fictional characters. What's going on with you, Violet?
So, actually, I'm in a debate on whether or not I should be a stripper again.
Ah, okay.
So, I was a stripper for 4 years. I'm 25. I started when I was 19. I stopped when I was 23. But I'm also in recovery. I'm a cocaine addict. I did the cocaine mostly when I was working music festivals, not stripping. But still, cocaine is at strip clubs. And I work a retail job now. And it's not paying enough for my sober living. And I'm debating on whether or not I should dance 2 days a week on a day shift somewhere because I'm on a proper sleep schedule now. My only issue is that I'm worried if someone offers me cocaine, I will do it and I will ruin my life again. And I've relapsed 4 times. I've been to rehab 4 times. And I'm doing really well now. Like, I'm happy for once in my life. Like, I'm actually enjoying living, which is crazy. I never thought that I would enjoy living. But I really need the money. And I've also been feeling like kind of sexually charged recently. Like, I felt like it would be a good way to express myself and feel sexy again, I guess, because it's been a while. And I don't know, there's a lot of stigma that comes with it, though, so I don't, and that's never bothered me, but now I'm kind of at a point in my life where I'd like to find somebody, and not a lot of people are okay with dating sex workers. So that's where I'm at.
I have a bunch of questions. First of all, congrats on getting sober.
Thank you.
Now, you have to pay to be, how does that work? You have to pay to be in a sober living house? What's that whole situation?
Yeah, so I pay to live in a sober living. It's like rent, like monthly, but they cover like electricity and Wi-Fi, and they get toilet paper for you. So, I mean, yeah, it's like a once a month charge for all bills paid.
And did you like go to rehab, and then this is sort of like you're getting out of rehab and transitioning via this?
Yeah, this is post rehab.
And Is the sober living like significantly more expensive than if you were to just live in a normal place?
It's actually a lot cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I mean, how long can you stay there for?
As long as I want. As long as I'm paying rent.
Well, shit. All right, that's a fantastic situation.
Yeah.
Is it like a dorm room kind of shit where you're like hanging out with other people in recovery and there's like meetings all the time and stuff?
Yeah, we have 2 house meetings a week. I think there's enough space here for 12 girls, but I think we only have 6, so we each have our own rooms right now.
Very, very. Are you meeting a lot of friends?
I am. The thing about recovery that I really like is the community is really awesome. Like, I love going to meetings. I love going to, like, my IOP, which stands for Intensive Outpatient, which is basically just group therapy. I really love it. Also, if I'm talking weird, it's because I just got my tongue pierced, and I'm still trying to, like, figure out how to speak with it.
I didn't hear that, but did you get one of those tongue piercings where like the tongue is fucking split in half like Patrick's arms?
That would be cool, but no, I just got like a little piercing in the middle there.
Is anyone else in this that you've met in this recovery center? Is anyone else a former or current stripper?
No.
So, all right. So tell me about the stripping. You did it from when you were 19 to how old?
23.
Okay. And at the time you were doing it, what made you stop?
I got really burnt out. And I switched to cam girling. I was a cam girl for a while. And I really liked that, but I can't do that right now because I live in sober living. I would just do that, but like they won't really allow that in sober living because like moaning through the walls isn't really when there's like 6 girls here. Like I just feel like it's not. When I did it, I lived with people who understood. But I switched to cam girling, and then I went to rehab, and I got really burnt out. My back hurt. I did it for 4 years. So, and it was never anything that I was passionate about. Like, what I'm really passionate about, like, I love working merch at festivals and concerts. I love doing that. And then music. I love making music and performing. Absolutely love it. I released my first song in January. And I'm hoping I can make a living doing that one day. But it's like, in the meantime, I need something to get by, and like starting a music project is really expensive. Like, I'm just a vocalist and lyricist, so I have to have people like mix my stuff. I have a producer that I have to pay. Marketing costs money, and I'm barely affording to live as it is. So it's like, to get somewhere, I have to like invest in myself. So that's why I think going back to the club might be a good idea, because, I mean, I could pay for my project and I could pay for my sober living, and I have another job on top of that. So, yeah.
What's your other job? Oh, right, you said retail.
I work at retail.
You see, it's interesting. It's fascinating to hear you said that you were a cam girl, because when you first said like that the main fear was that you would get offered cocaine, I was like, well, you could just do whatever the digital version of being a stripper is. Which, by the way, I've always found that kind of I find it fascinating that strip clubs even still really exist, because I would assume, and I don't know that like the universe of the financials of being a stripper versus being a cam girl, but I would assume that the benefits of doing some kind of camming career is better than being a stripper in person.
Yeah, I mean, stripping is more money, But I really liked camming. Like, I felt like I could just be myself on camera, and it was a really fun experience. I liked it a lot.
So how much of the decision of whether or not you want to go back to stripping is monetary? Because you mentioned that it's money, but you also mentioned that you enjoy it in some degree, that allows you some degree of expression.
Yeah, I'm an extrovert. I love talking to people, love getting to know people. And, like, how do I say this without, like, I don't know. I've been very sexually charged recently because I think it's like you took away my drugs and now my brain wants something else.
Sure.
And I've been feeling very flirty, and I've kind of been acting out a little bit. Like, I've been making out with people in my group therapy, and I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I just don't. And I mean, I've gotten on Tinder and met people and whatnot, but it's a matter of, like, I guess my aura right now is very flirty, and if I could just express that and be that way and get paid for it, that would be really cool, because I feel like I've been a little inappropriate lately. It's just, I guess, the vibe I'm giving out because I'm so sexually frustrated, and I don't want, like, I just need friends with benefits, and I'm on the hunt for one, but it's like, I don't want all this, I don't want to be screwing around with people that I'm in recovery with, you know, and it's very hard for me not to do that right now.
I have to imagine, I know there's, like, sex addict stuff where you, like, it's that I mean, that must be a crazy can of worms, but I have to imagine that must
slaw.
be that has to be. I have to imagine that in recovery communities in general, there's a lot of people fucking.
Yeah, there's it's called SLAW, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, and I am in it.
Are you fucking around with people in that group specifically?
No, that's, like, highly discouraged. Like, at the beginning of, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say because it's anonymous, but it's a very, that's highly discouraged.
I assume with the anonymous groups, you can talk about them as long as you're not talking about a specific person. You're like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Brad.
Well, at the beginning of each meeting, they say, like, this is not a hookup group. Like, if anyone approaches you in an inappropriate manner, and, like, we all understand, like, we're all kind of in the same boat. So we don't want to, like, trigger each other. Now, with, like, group therapy and, like, IOP and stuff like that, it's a little harder because not everyone's a sex addict, and it's not, I don't know, it is frowned upon to, like, get a rehab romance or whatever you call it, but it's like there's that line of respect isn't going both ways. Like, someone might flirt with me and it's very hard for me not to flirt with them back, or I might flirt with someone and it's hard to, but, like, in the SLAW program, it's a very, like, we're so there to try to get better that we don't want to, like, fuck up anyone else's recovery, and I wouldn't want to fuck up anyone else's, like, recovery and IOP either. It's just,
how is the Tinder going?
I had a really good Tinder date yesterday, but I'm afraid I would catch feelings for him, and I'm not really in a place that I'm available to catch feelings for people. And yeah.
So you just want to have no strings attached sex with people.
I just want, like, one friends with benefits. I can just hit up a few times a week, and I feel like that would be enough for me. I
feel like on Tinder you won't have an issue finding that.
Yeah, there's a guy he is the guy that gives me my coffee and water when I'm at work. We've been hanging out, and we talked about a friends with benefits situation. It just hasn't like happened yet. And I think he would be good because I don't have any romantic feelings for him. I don't see myself catching any. And he's really pretty. But the guy from Tinder is actually really cool. And then I kind of started having a friends with benefits thing with a girl. But she's in my IOP, and we fucked once, and it was really cool. But then I was like...
I was gonna ask. I know that I have to assume that the slaw groups are separated by gender, but if you're into all the genders, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess back to the original issue of like, should you become a stripper or not? I mean, look, dude, what about OnlyFans? I said OnlyFans just now as if I don't know what that's how somebody who doesn't really know what OnlyFans is would say it. OnlyFans, but no,
I did OnlyFans once. I don't like OnlyFans. Making content to me is just, I've done it, but like I'm actually not that photogenic. I look way better in real life than I do in photos. And it's like OnlyFans is like you gotta like be consistent with it. You have to constantly market yourself. With camming and stripping, you kind of just do it and you gain a base. With OnlyFans, you have to gain a base and then do it.
Right.
And
sure. It's a lot more upstart.
Yeah, and I've done OnlyFans. I did it for a week, made a lot of money, deleted it, and it's not my thing. Like making content, I like making content, just not like sexual content. Like I don't know. I'm a creative. I have a lot of ideas for videos. I write poetry. I write short stories. I write plays. I'm a writer. I like editing videos. It's just, I don't know. I don't like making sexual content. I like just being myself and talking and having my aura and then doing that. Like photos and videos are just kind of whatever.
So how long have you been, did you go to like a sex and love rehab at the same time as the cocaine rehab?
No, I don't think that exists actually. I mean, it might, but I haven't been to one.
How long have you been in the slaw for?
Maybe like 6 months.
Okay, how long have you been in the cocaine stuff for?
The first time I went to rehab was a year ago.
How is the retail job going? Where's that at?
I don't like it. I'm just not passionate about it. It's a lingerie store. It's really hard for me to find jobs I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about sex work, but at least I like it. And I don't dislike this retail job. It's boring. And I mean, I guess people have to work boring jobs. I'm not trying to complain about it. I'm grateful to have this job. It's just, if I have to have a career, I just want to do something I'm passionate about. Like, all I want to do is write songs and poetry, and I've written books, and I want to do music first, so I have people that will read my stuff, and I don't know. The job is cool. I like the girls that work there. It's just, I'm not passionate about it, and it doesn't pay a whole ton.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good that you have a lot of things you want to do. You know, the way you're talking about them, they're like, it's almost, and I do this too. What I'm about to say that you're doing, I do this too. And that's why I'm telling you that I'm seeing you do it, is like all these passions that you are talking about, like, you know, whatever, making music or writing things, like they're almost like weights the way you're talking about them, you know, but I think they're good to have all these things that you want to do. And then weirdly these things, they come with like attachments of like, I need to make money doing this or be successful doing this. And I think that a big part of like trying to be happy with them is removing those kind of unnecessary attachments. And again, I completely and utterly do that myself, and that's the only reason I'm talking about it.
Yeah. I really appreciate you, Gecko. I watch your stream a lot, and I'm always like, I wonder if I'll get to talk to him one day. I got to talk to you.
What is the future look like for you, Violet? I'm gonna just call you Violet.
Violet July.
Violet July. What's the future look like, Violet July?
Who is Violet July? More poetry, more music, more connection, more love, more kindness, more enlightenment.
And less cocaine.
I don't know. And less cocaine.
Well, I wish I could have. It's been great talking to you. I wish I could have been of some form of help in you making your decision.
You're great. It was great to just be able to vent about it. Thank you.
I don't know. I guess you could. There's a way you could combine all these things. You could be the stripping poet. You take off one piece of clothing for every bar. What do you are they? Is that just rap or is that in poetry too? The bars.
They're called stanzas in poetry.
Okay, every stanza you take off one piece of clothing.
Do you want to hear a poem?
Sure, let's close out with a poem.
Cool. I have like 8,000 poems in my phone notes. I just gotta. Where is it? Let's go with. Okay. The Antichrist will entice the gentleman. The medicine he needs to kill the weeds of the demiurge must be purged from his computer. For the consumer is innocent, and the gentleman is ignorant of the colors sent from the other side of reality. For our immortality desires to go backwards. I heard the gentleman's curls can lure the girls into the catastrophe that may be esoteric truth. But his geometric youth sings the songs of wires that tire of intertwining the sighing masses. So when his soul passes, will he choose to continue down the rabbit hole of hell, or will his shell grow roots?
That sounds like something Hermione would say to, like, turn a demon into a bunny or something. It was a good poem.
Good. Thank you.
What's your name again? Violet July. Violet July.
Violet July.
Violet July, is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
Yeah, I have a song coming out on January 1st. At Who Is Violet July, if you feel like following. I promise I didn't come here for music promo, but thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Like, you guys are great.
Also, check out Violent. I don't know what his Instagram handle is, but check out Violent J. Just go to YouTube and type in Violent J Miracles and watch that video too, and watch Violet's stuff and also that.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night, Violet.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. Hello.
What's your name?
Lauren.
Lauren. What's going on with you, Lauren?
Oh, just, not really on house arrest, but I have a scram monitor on my ankle.
A scram monitor?
Yeah. Yeah, so it detects alcohol in your sweat.
And is this because you are legally not allowed to be consuming alcohol?
So I'm 24, but correct, yes.
Why are you not legally allowed to consume alcohol?
So I rolled a stop sign, and I had alcohol in my system, and I got pulled over, and yeah, long story short, I got an ankle monitor.
What was that? Were you above the legal limit?
Yeah. So I'm out in Utah, and Utah's legal limit's 0.05, which, I mean, still not great. I don't condone it, but...
How much did you have to drink that night?
I really only probably had
4 glasses of wine throughout a period of a couple hours. And I could, like, I remember the whole, like, pulling over, the arrest, everything. So after, like, that whole situation, before I got the ankle monitor, I wanted to, like, test a theory to see how my body processed alcohol. So I had a wine night with my friends, and we got a breathalyzer. And for 1 glass of wine, mine was, like, double what everybody else would blow. So my body just doesn't process alcohol well.
I will say, soberly, I have rolled almost every stop sign I've ever encountered throughout my entire life.
Exactly. I grew up in California. We roll stop signs.
I think everyone rolls stop. When's the last time whoever's listening to this, I want you to think about the last time you completely stopped, like I'm talking complete stop, your car rolls back kind of a stop. At a stop sign where there's nobody else at, like, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling stops all the time.
All the time.
How long do you have to wear the thing for?
120 days. So I got it October 11th, and I will get it off February 8th, I believe. So I am just over a month today.
And I does the, like, part of your ankle that the brace covers get really gross because you can't wash it?
No, I can shower with it, thankfully.
And you have to wear it.
I just can't submerge it in water.
Oh, but you can't submerge it in water?
No, so you can't submerge it, but you can take a shower you can shower, but you can't take a bath.
What happens if you take it off? Does it explode?
I can't take it off. I have to go to the jail, and they use a special little tool, and then it sends all these alerts to the police station that the monitor has been unlocked.
Are you allowed to drive?
Yeah, so I'm allowed to drive. I do have a breathalyzer in my car, so I am double sober with an ankle monitor and a breathalyzer in my car.
Is this your first offense? I feel like this sounds like second offense kind of a thing.
It's my first offense. It's just Utah. I also had a wax pen in my car, which I don't smoke weed. I don't even do drugs. But it was an ex-boyfriend, and wax is a felony out here. So also getting the monitor kind of dropped the felony charges. So I was like, you know what? I'll take an ankle monitor before I take a felony.
Well, shit. That's very... Yeah, Utah is very, like, Mormon-y, holy, we don't do that stuff around here kind of a place.
Which is crazy, because growing up in California, I never really, like, partied, and being out in Utah, I've never partied harder.
Tell me about the Utah party scene.
It's weird. It's like, I think because the state is so strict that everybody just feels the need to constantly be under the influence of something.
Are you born and raised there? Well, you just said... Oh, wait, you said you were born in California.
Yeah, so I was born in California. I grew up there, and then I lived in Tahoe for a little bit, and then I moved to Utah 2 years ago.
What'd you move here for?
Just to snowboard.
Cool. Really? Just to snowboard? Did you know anyone when you moved?
Nope, didn't know a soul.
How long ago did you move?
2 years ago.
And how's it going?
It was going good up until this, and now I'm probably gonna go back to California.
What are you gonna do in California?
I don't know. I kind of want to move to Southern California. I grew up in Northern, so I feel like Southern would be kind of a nice change. And I'm kind of an adventurous person. I feel like Southern California kind of has a little bit more to offer for me. Mm-hmm. I do spontaneous things a lot. And also, since I've had this ankle monitor, I was kind of nervous, but my probation officer let me go to Vegas for SEMA, which is the car show. Which I was really surprised he let me go to Vegas, but he did. And I convinced the guy sitting next to me on the plane, a complete stranger, to take me to the Hoover Dam.
You convinced the guy on the plane with you from Utah to Vegas to take you to the Hoover Dam?
Yeah, I had never been, and I really wanted to go.
And so he like drove you there?
Yeah, at first he was really hesitant. He was like, no. And then we weren't really, no one said anything on the plane because I awkwardly sat in the middle seat. It was the last seat available on the plane. And of course I had to sit there. And so I'm sitting between these two dudes and we're just like talking about the Hoover Dam. And I was like, yeah, I've never been. So if you guys want to take me, that'd be cool. And they were like kind of for it, but they were a little hesitant. And then the one guy was like, well, maybe. And I was like, okay, well, if you do take me, just a little disclosure, like I'm on probation. I have an ankle monitor. I was like, do you want to see it? And then the other guy was like, you know what? I don't want to go. And then the other guy was like, you know what? I'll take you. So I let a stranger take me to the Hoover Dam.
Was this like a date?
No. I just wanted to go and he had time to kill, so.
It says here you also messaged me to say that you had a stranger take you to Mexico.
Yeah, so last summer, I think it was last summer, I went to visit my cousin who goes to San Diego State, and I thought he would let me go to class with him. He was super opposed to that and said, no, find something else to do during the day. So as any solo bored traveler would do, I took the train and I wanted to go to Tijuana for a couple hours. And so on the train, I kept I guess I was looking around super suspiciously, and this guy behind me handed me his phone and was like, you look lost. And I was like, no, I know where I'm going. And he was like, okay, just making sure, are you by yourself? And I was like, at the moment, yes, but I won't be. Because I was like, I don't know what his intentions are. But also I was like, okay, he's typing on his phone, so clearly he's not making it known to everybody else on the train. And so we typed on his phone for probably 30 minutes because it was a 2-hour train ride. And finally he goes, you want to just take an Uber? It'll be 10 minutes. And I was like, sure. So we get off this train and we're standing on the side of the road by a military base going to Tijuana. And then we get in the Uber and then I was like, you know what? I could get kidnapped right now. This man hasn't said a word to me. Everything's been over text. And so I kind of panic and I start pulling little hairs out of my hair and leaving them in the car and just putting my fingerprints on stuff.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. So you this guy next to you, you don't speak a word with him, but you just hand your phone back and forth with each other?
Yes. Well, so he handed me his phone. And he was like, are you lost? Do you know where you're going?
He had typed that, what, on his notes app or something?
Yeah. And so
you guys aren't, so you guys are sitting next to each other, but instead of talking, you are handing his phone back and forth?
Yeah. So he was actually a row behind me. So he could see me kind of looking at the train map and looking at my phone at all the stops.
Okay, so you get off of this train with this guy who you have not spoken a word to, but you're just texting back and forth with his phone.
Yeah, and he showed me that he had ordered an Uber. I know it sounds super dumb when I say it out loud, but I was like, okay, he ordered an Uber. Ubers are secure. I felt kind of safe. I didn't really question it. And then he was like, okay, follow me through the I don't know what it's called at the border, but there's visitors and then people who have citizenship. And he was like, just walk through. He was like, don't stand too close to me, but just kind of follow. And I was like, okay. And so then I get pulled aside and then they're like, where's your passport? Blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't have it. And I was like, I'm just coming in for a couple hours and then leaving. And so they made me buy a day visa, which is only, I think it's $15. And I was like, sure.
You can get into Mexico without a passport by just giving them $15?
Yes. Kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
So this guy still has not said a word to me at all. And I figured, okay, well maybe there's just a language.
Wait, why haven't you I don't understand. You got off the train with this guy. Why are you not talking to him?
Well, so I would say things like to him, but he would always type back. So I figured like maybe English isn't his first language. And so like maybe the barrier, but he could type really good English. But maybe he just wasn't comfortable speaking it.
Okay. Was he Mexican?
So yeah. Yeah. And so once we crossed the border, he's like, oh, my cousin can give you a ride wherever you wanted to go. Because I told him I just wanted to go to the beach, get a taco, a margarita. And he was like, my cousin can take you. And then I was like, you know what? That's where I got to draw the line. Because then it's like, okay, it's not an Uber. Nothing's getting tracked. But so we cross the border and we're standing in front of, I don't know if it's Oxos or OXXOs, but I call them Oxos. It's like the 7-Eleven of Mexico.
Yeah.
And this like SUV pulls up behind him because he's facing me, so he has his back to the road. And then the guy like honks his horn, and the guy doesn't flinch. And I was like, And then he turns around, and then they see each other, and then they start signing to each other in like sign language. So I was like, oh, he's either deaf or mute. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense why he has not said a word to me. So I guess I let a deaf or mute man take me across the border.
How did you end this interaction with this man?
I told him I appreciated his Uber, and I wished him well and that I was going to take a taxi.
Okay. I mean, that's probably good to not get in like a random guy's cousin's car in Tijuana.
Yeah. Well, and so every time I tell people this story, my main priority was obviously not to get kidnapped, but I like to make light of the situation. And I had my cousin's house key, which is the only house key to the house at the time. And so my goal was don't get kidnapped because I had the key to the house and my cousin would not have been happy.
Yeah. I like that your relationship with your cousin is such that if you got kidnapped in Mexico, their first thought would be, oh no, she has the keys to my house.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have been too happy with that one. And I didn't tell him I was going to Mexico either. So he just thought I was roaming around near the campus.
So, I mean, are you constantly getting into these crazy adventures?
I want to say no, but if you were to ask my friends, they would probably say 100%. I mean, they're not always that extreme, but they're definitely kind of out there.
What's your name again, by the way?
Lauren.
Lauren, what's your whole prerogative, Lauren? What are you doing? What's your deal?
I have no idea. Like, I'm 24. I feel like I've done so much in such a short time. Like, I don't really have family problems. It's not like it's me, like, lashing out and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like I didn't have enough, like, not control, but my parents telling me, like, hey, don't do that type of thing growing up. So it's like, world's the oyster. I'm going to keep going. Like, I do understand consequences. Obviously, I have an ankle monitor, but.
What's next for you? What do you want to be next?
That's a good question. Having the ankle monitor, I have had my highs of highs and the lowest of lows. So I've had a lot of time for self-reflection. Definitely, once I get this off, I probably will just stay sober. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to get. There was like a small time frame where I thought about getting into like being a probation officer because I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. Like, I check in with my probation officer every day. I went into the jail and like talked to the other probation officer for 3 hours just about life.
Are you going to move? So you're planning on moving to LA, or I guess Southern?
No,
or San
not
Diego?
LA. Probably like San Diego, Temecula.
Okay. And you want to try to become a probation officer?
Scene. Maybe. I mean, it was just like an idea that crossed my mind. Because I also used to work for. Have you ever heard of Supercross?
No. Wait. Is that that's the bike thing?
Yeah. So in the summer they have Pro Moto, which is like their outdoor circuit, and I used to work for that. So I lived in a van. I got paid to live in my boss's van and drive cross country with mountain bikes for Specialized. And so I really enjoyed that, and I met a lot of people in the industry, and it's given me a lot of connections that I think would be super cool to get back into. Not necessarily like riding because I don't race, but something in the sports industry.
That could be cool. Do you predict that you will still have a lust for adventure and want to go to weird places by yourself and hang out with strangers?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sort of addicted to that too, but I'm at a point in my life. I've been thinking about this a lot. I like to do that, and a lot of what I do in my career as a gecko is that I did it even before I was doing the gecko thing, but also a lot of part of me is like wonders how much longer I can do that before it's I don't know, I guess sad or
yeah,
or gets lonely or whatever. I mean, I'm about to be 26 years old in a month.
Okay, so we're similar to the same age.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
December 20th.
Okay, I'm January 4th.
Yeah, I'm about to be 26, and I don't know, bro. There's still like I get all these I get all these DMs from people. I mean, on the podcast a couple weeks ago, I was talking to the guy in Pakistan, and I mentioned that people should DM me to go film a video with them in a crazy place, and I still want to do all that stuff. And there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Peter Santinello. I don't know if anyone knows who he is, but he's like inspiring to me because he's like 45 or something like that, and he's still running around making videos all over the world, hanging out with strangers of all different ages, and but he's also got like a wife and shit, and he's not fat, and you know, I think that could be cool if I could do that, if I could have some kind of like stable life and semblance of real relationship home kind of a thing, but also be able to hang out with a stranger in Mexico and not die and make a video about it. So I don't know, maybe there's a way to combine all those universes.
Yeah, because I also work at a restaurant bar out here in Utah, and the other day one of my tables was these guys that are on a hockey team. And so they were playing the Utah Grizzlies. And just oversharing my life. The one guy was like, give me your number and I'll give you some tickets. So I went to the game, and then we were just chatting after, and I was like, I guess I'll have to come to Canada. But then we remembered that you can't really go to Canada with a criminal record, which I don't know if I think I do have a criminal record, unfortunately, but you can't go. So then I told him, I was like, well, looks like you're either going to have to come back to Utah, California, or go to Mexico with me. And so we're going to plan a Mexico trip, and I've met this guy once. But, I mean, the odds of it following through are probably slim, but also I'm the type of person that's like, if I invite you to go on a trip with me, even if you don't go, I'll probably still go on the trip.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go to Mexico, Gek, we could go.
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm moving away. Well, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. But I have been wanting to go to Tijuana, even though I've heard it can be a little crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, my mom has a house in Puerto Vallarta. So that's where I would prefer to go. But Tijuana crossing the border is really fun. It's a little time-consuming, but the adventure's there.
Does your mom make good tostadas?
No. My mom is white. My dad's Mexican. Bless my mom, but she can cook, but she can't really cook. My dad's a better cook. Also,
Well, Lauren,
my parents don't know that I had a DUI.
oh, they don't?
No, this happened in May, and it's already November, and they still don't know. And I'm going home for Christmas, and I am on the fence whether or not I want to tell them or not. And I have an ankle monitor, so it's like, okay. But luckily, I could just wear pants. But it's also California, so it could potentially be warm. Probably not. But
How do you think they would react to seeing that you have the ankle monitor?
Probably a little disappointed.
Lauren, I don't know you very well, but you seem like you can deal with people being a little disappointed in you.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is like getting a DUI it's not the worst thing in the world, but it definitely should give everybody a reality check if you've ever gotten one. And it has given me like the world's biggest reality check. And the reason I can joke about my situation and make it so lighthearted is because I understand and I can acknowledge the consequences that could have happened. Like, it could have gone so much worse. I could have wrecked my car. I could have killed somebody. Like, all the what ifs. But in my case, I just barely rolled a stop sign, and that was on and off the road. That was it. So,
well, Lauren,
I acknowledge it.
I hope that you, I don't know. I'm back and forth on the whole whether, I hope that you are able to have further adventures in your life. I don't get, I'm kind of bullshitting myself because I don't see why, just because, we're a similar age, and I don't see why just because we turn some age, we're supposed to stop going on weird adventures. I don't know. I think all that stuff is arbitrary. So I hope you continue to go on as many weird adventures as you want. Within the bounds of safety, of course.
Yeah. Which, I always, sometimes I don't think in the moment, but I feel like I always do have a good gut feeling, and I do have a good head on my shoulders, and I kind of know when to draw the line, and if I'm pushing that line a little too much. And, like, that's the thing, too, is even just trying to date, it's hard to find guys that are going to be like, you did what? You let a stranger take you where? Like, okay, yeah, I did. I let a stranger take me somewhere, but, like, I don't know. I survived. I'm here.
I guess that's a good point. I think about that all the time when, like, you ever meet somebody old and they tell you, and they, not old, but, like somebody who's like a crazy reckless driver and they're like 25.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, you've probably been driving like this for 9 years and you haven't died. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I think about that if I'm like ever in the car with them, I'll think about that because I've been in a car with a crazy driver a couple times, and I like while I'm praying that we're not going to die, I think to myself, I'm like, well, why now? Why would it, if they've been driving like this every day for 9 years, why would it be now with me in the car that they would crash?
Yeah. But you never know. It's one of those weird things that's like, people are always like, I don't know how to say it, but like, some people are like, if it's your time, it's your time. And like, everything kind of happens for a reason. And like, I think me getting this DUI kind of happened for a reason. It's super shitty, but it is an expensive lesson. And I'm very thankful in a way because I've learned so much about myself and like where my priorities are and what I want out of life and stuff like that.
Well, Lauren, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
I know you said something about like everybody always says something inspirational. I thought about it and I was like, don't drink and drive. But I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, as a side note real quick. One time, I was not expecting this to go viral within the Gecko community, but one time I said on the podcast, everyone always answers that, because I say at the end of every call if there's anything else you want to say, and I said one time that everyone always answers it with a motivational thing, and I think I said you don't have to do that. And I said that once, and now every time I ask the question, everyone responds by saying, Oh, I know you don't like it when people say motivational things. All I was saying, you don't have to say something, but you say whatever you want, Lauren.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with spend the $40 on an Uber because $10,000 is not worth it.
I like that. Thank you for calling, Lauren. Have a good rest of the night.
You too. Bye.
You know what? I'm going to Tijuana.
Call from
Kaylee.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. What's up, Kaylee?
Not much. I'm just hanging out in bed. It's kind of late.
Wow, are you comfy cozy, as they would say? Comfy cozy?
So comfy cozy.
Rock and roll, that's a good place to be. Well, let's get a little uncomfortable, shall we? That's a weird thing to say. What's up? What's your name? Say your name one more time.
Kaylee.
Kaylee, okay, that's what I thought it was. Kaylee, what would you want to talk about today?
Well, I'm a little unhappy at where I am in my life right now in general. Mostly because I'm in a PhD program and I have been thinking about leaving for like a year now.
What PhD program are you in?
I am getting my degree in molecular cell biology.
Oh my god, I can see why you want to quit.
Yeah.
Sounds awful. What made you want to do that?
Well, in college, I ended up working in a research lab, and I kind of liked it. And I was like, well, why not keep doing this for a little bit longer until I can figure out a more, like, stable career path. So I figured grad school was a really great option, and now I hate my life.
It's not... I mean, looking at cells, right? They move slightly every once in a while, don't they? That's kind of fun.
Yeah, they do. So I ended up doing. So I ended up joining a cancer research lab, and one of the things that kind of goes through my head all the time is, wow, cancer is like so hard to study. I don't know if anything I'll ever do will amount to any sort of treatment for anyone. So it just feels really futile and kind of like...
You know what's funny? You know what I think is so funny is just you represent this idea that, like, you know, humanity never finds the cure to cancer because, you know, we just got bored. You know,
I wish that was the
bored
answer.
of sitting in, like, all the scientists that were working on it were looking at cells and writing things down and being like, this fucking sucks. I want to go get high and move and play video games. This is fucking boring. And it's actually kind of cool that, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who do that, but as a whole, science, even though it's boring to sit and look at cells, we still do it. And that's cool.
I feel like there definitely are people that hate their lives in grad school because they think it's boring. I feel like I still definitely have an interest in science. It's just, I think the whole process is overwhelming. I think the structure of academia is stupid. I don't know if what I want to do with my life now, I necessarily need a PhD. There's all sorts of factors that that are contributing
what
to
do you want to do with your life now?
That is a great question. I've always told myself that I don't want to be a professor or run a lab or anything, that I just want to go sell my soul and work for Big Pharma. But
nice.
But those jobs are so incredibly hard to get. And yeah, I don't know if I necessarily want to grow cells in a dish and give mice cancer anymore.
You know, it's everyone shits on being a sellout, but they don't know how hard it is to get those big sellout jobs. It's not easy selling out.
Oh, definitely, it's not.
All right. Do you want to? What if you quit your PhD today? What would tomorrow look like?
Well, I think my boss in my lab would probably let me stay until I found a job, and I would probably start looking at jobs in science in my city. It's like there are some, so I think I would probably be able to get something. But I don't know. I remember I reflect back to this is gonna sound really stupid. I reflect back to high school when I was a cashier at a grocery store. And I really enjoyed talking to people, and I'm maybe I would like doing some retail or customer service for a little while, and then just to get my bearings. But I'm sure lots of people in customer service are yelling, being do not do that.
Have you done? Wait, hold on. So, but you've done it before.
I kind of. So I don't know if you count cashier at a grocery store as retail. I kind of did.
Yeah. How long were you doing that for?
Just 2 years in high school.
Okay. And did anyone ever come in and spit on you and make you want to never do it ever again?
No, but I did have weird middle-aged men try and hit on me when I was 16.
Sure. Yeah. Did what about I don't think. What's your name again?
Kaylee,
I don't think that the decision to be looking at cells sucks. I want to do something with my hands and look at people and talk to them. I don't think it's a bad call. Well, because also, I mean, yeah, you say that people in customer service might be listening to this and screaming at you not to do it, but everyone's wired differently. They are. So for there are some jobs that for some people are the, hellish, and then for other people they bagging groceries and talking to old ladies and stuff. So I don't think it's a bad move to. I don't think it's bad to. What is it? 2 steps back, 1 step forward, or 2 steps back, 3 steps forward. Some shit like that. Something with steps.
Something like that.
The steps add up to be good steps, but yeah, why not?
Yeah, there's just it's just such a big decision, because if I left, I probably would never be able to go back and get a PhD if that's something I wanted to go back to, at least at the university I'm at now. So it's just a big,
Kaylee,
it's a big
can't you
decision
just
can't make.
Can't you just learn it? Can't you just learn all the? Look, whatever you're learning in your PhD, I'm sure is on YouTube.
Maybe I missed a big video essay about how to cure cancer. I'll have to find it.
I bet there's a guy on YouTube who is here's how to cure cancer from a cell. And it's probably a 3-hour-long video, but you'll know how to do it by the end.
Yeah, I'll have to do a deep dive, definitely.
Well, Kaylee, I'm glad that I was able to successfully convince you to make a major life decision.
I appreciate it, Lyle. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
No. I know you get so many callers that are I've been listening to you for ages, but I'm kind of a recent caller. I started listening to your podcast a couple of months ago, and
oh, cool.
They definitely brighten my days.
Cool. Thanks, man. I think that's awesome. I'm glad that new people are listening to the pod. I hope that you continue to listen for as long as you enjoy listening.
You got it. Yeah, I'll be back. Thanks again.
Take care, Kaylee.
All right, have a good night.
Curing cancer sounds boring as hell.